Hey population, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
A comic book discussion series where we take a comic book and break it down by its basic elements of art, writing, and story, and tell you what we thought about it and give you our recommendations for this week in comics that are coming out. Today we're going to talk about last week's book, Superman number 50, written by Jean Luen Yang, artists Howard Porter, Adrian Sayat, Patrick Zurcher, with special guest artist John Bogdanov. A lot of people worked on this book. We're 2 issues away from the 52 issues of each title that came out during the New 52, which is when they're going to end everything and rebirth it. So what do you guys think of Superman number 50?
It is a by-the-numbers Superman story.
That's the thing. I think, and this is just me going off the rails here, but I think this issue is a reaction to the negative attention that Superman Truth had, which is Superman losing his powers, and the positive attention that Superman American Alien has been getting, where Superman's being brought back to his roots, and we're seeing like the core character of Superman.
I don't know. Like, if they're planning something in 2 issues, I don't think they would have the time to change anything. Like,
well, no, I think they're just like, well, they're just going like, here is what you want, apparently.
I guess. I don't know.
If they think this is what we want, they are wrong.
It's just, okay, everything about it, objectively, is what I want. Superman fighting a bad guy.
Yeah.
Clark Kent connecting with humanity.
Yeah.
Cool moments in the book, but also emotionally satisfying moments. You know, everything is there, it's just the writing isn't that good. So it feels kind of lame.
Yeah.
And I was not a fan of the art that started and ended this book.
Well, it's a larger issue, right?
It is. It's more than double.
Yeah, so like that tends to help you stay on like your timetable.
Yes.
They have to, like, all the 52s have to come out.
Well, they did the same thing with Batman.
Yeah,
When Batman 49 came out, they were like, well, we can spin our wheels for another issue, and they had a guest artist come in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as satisfying.
Right, but I mean, like, clearly they're trying to stick to their schedule, and I applaud them for that.
Yes.
So whatever they have to do to get this done, they're doing it.
And I will say, the stories that were in the middle, the different worlds that Savage brought him to, were cool. I liked that art. I really liked the art where Superman was back on Krypton. And I really liked the art where Savage was leading Earth.
And he's the
general.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think that was my favorite art.
Easily, that was the coolest moment in the book.
You know, that super... The uniform he had on was kind of evocative of the Red Sun Superman, like, esque kind of...
Yeah, where you're a military leader in Superman.
Yeah, and, like, that's cool. And that art was superior. I agree 100%. But the stuff that bookended it was very, like, over-the-top comic book art. And that
really raises the question of, like, is it worth it? Like, should a book be delayed in order to keep the artist?
Okay, it depends, because if they weren't leading up to this and they, you know, they had the time...
Yeah.
Yes. You know what I mean? I think so. But there's no time. Like, if they're trying to hit something...
Yeah, they gotta get the 52 issues out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they had, because it could have been something really cool. It could have elevated it. How about that? But I think they made the right call.
It wasn't like radically, they weren't like, we're doing an anthology type book where it's radically different art styles for each chapter.
Right.
They all kind of had this. That's why I was like, how many people worked on this book? Because I felt like there was an even flow. It's just there were noticeable differences. And so I thought, like, oh man, like, how many, the fact there were 4 or 5 artists, I was like, wow, that's more than I expected.
I will say, if you're going to do that and you have different artists working on different sections, having different segments of the world or different realities...
That was a smart move.
Yeah.
That was very smart for them.
Yeah.
So I commend them for that.
Should they have been radically different, though?
I think they were different enough.
I mean, like, my personal taste is I tend to like when it's radically different, because I like to see them, like, encompass something like that.
Yeah.
That being said, like, I think it was fine.
You're right. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, the fact is, like, in another week or so... Actually, at the end of this week, Superman and Batman are going to be thrust again. Like, it's like, not that they're ever not in the limelight, but like, it's going to be Superman for days.
They really needed him to be Superman by the end of the week.
And he is.
And so now he is in all titles, so whatever, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. Now that we're done with the book that came out last week, here are our recommendations for what's coming out this week that you can pick up that we think are cool.
So there's one title that's coming out that you know I'm going to recommend. It's Totally Awesome Hulk number 4, written by Greg Pak, art by Frank Cho. This book is just being knocked out of the park. I love every issue so far. They're doing a great job. If you're not reading it, why aren't you reading it? Just read it already. I'm reading it, and I think it's great. The next book is a book that I am a little bit surprised about. Carnage number 6. So this book is written by Jerry Conway with art by Mike Perkins, and the cover this week, which is the reason I'm interested in this.
That book has an amazing
Mike Del
covers.
Mundo.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's simply for the fact that it's kind of been like a little bit of a horror book so far.
Yes, that's
in a
what
way.
Carnage is, the horror book.
But I don't think that's where they're going this way for this issue.
Mm-hmm.
I totally judged this week's issue by its cover, and I'm buying it. So, good job, Marvel.
That's what they tell you not to do.
I know.
They do,
I'm going up the stream.
The conceit of covers is to make you buy them.
I know.
By the way, those Carnage covers are amazing, and the fact the guy who wrote The Death of Gwen Stacy in like the 70s is writing this like modern horror comic about Carnage is kind of amazing.
I really feel like if I had never played that video game, I probably would be really into.
Oh, Maximum Carnage?
Yeah.
My recommendation's obviously going to be Batman number 50 by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. It's rounding out Bruce Wayne coming back just in time for the movie, surprisingly enough. Batman's going to be back in the saddle to take out Mr. Bloom, which is like cool and sucky at the same time because Mr. Bloom is clearly Jim Gordon's villain. So if they don't give Gordon like the kill shot or at least some kind of cool moment to vanquish his villain, you know, it's going to be kind of like, why did you do that at all? But
Well, then it's a waste.
Yeah, but at the same time, Batman's back, and that's cool. And this is like kind of the swan song they're finishing up. This is like the last couple of issues or issue or two where Snyder and Capullo will be working together and working on this Batman title. So goodbye to this award-winning celebrated book. It's the book that got me into the New 52 in the first place. And I bought it, and I loved it for a while. But I read it anyway, even the dips and dives and parts where I was like, this is really not for me. I still read it and bought it, and I still found joy and something worthwhile inside of it.
So from Marvel, for me this week, I'm going to be recommending Patsy Walker, a.k.a. Hellcat, because I know that I read a couple of the issues. I think it's a lot of fun.
Me too. I thought it was
and
cute.
I just wanted to bring it up because one of Sal's favorite Marvel characters in it, it's Howard the Duck. He's going to be showing up.
Good.
Yeah.
He's so great and so funny.
So, you know.
I was really expecting to hear Spider-Man.
Well, because, like, they're both investigators now.
Yeah.
So they've got something in common.
Right? That makes it worth it.
You know, and she's a cat, kind of.
She says she's dresses like a cat.
He's
a
duck.
A literal duck man.
I am still excited about this. I don't care. It's written by Kate Leff with art by Brittany Williams. So it's just a nice dose of fun.
Yes, Patsy Walker's a refreshingly fun series.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's like the Archie comics of Marvel.
It kind of is. And then I also want to bring up, of course, Birthright number 15 is going to be coming out. What's important about this is the end of a story arc.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, now may not be the best time to jump on board.
No.
But if you're reading, make sure you go out and get
We'll go look for it and then go behind it and
get
grab
the back issues.
Back issues.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
And then this is just really for you, Ben. I don't know. Did you know that there's a book from Boom Studios called Bill and Ted Go to Hell?
No!
Yeah, it's number 2 is coming out this
Cool!
week.
I really hope it's more like Excellent Adventures and not
like
Bogus Journey.
Well, it is kind of. I think it loops in with both. It loops in with both of them. Obviously,
it says
because
both happened. I guess
in this one, they will be in hell with with Lincoln and Joan of Arc and a bunch of the others, and they're squaring off with Napoleon.
Okay.
Who used the knowledge he gleaned from Bill and Ted and their bogus journey and their excellent adventures in hell, essentially, to figure out the plan to take down the devil. So when he died, he got there and then he just took over hell.
Oh my god, this sounds awesome!
So that's just for you, really.
I really like that.
I have no idea.
I'm picking up an indie book this week.
I have no idea the quality of the writing. I have no idea the art. You know, I don't know anything about that. I just wanted to tell you that there was a book called Bill and Ted Go to Hell.
Awesome.
Nice.
Holy crap.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That's what's coming out this week. You can pick them up at your friendly local comic book store or online. We'll see you guys next week with another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks for watching.